Welcome, traveller. History doesn't have to be boring, and tonight it definitely won't be. Make yourself comfortable as much as you can, and get ready to drift off while we explore why you would never survive the Ice Age, and probably wouldn't even make it to lunch. Before we begin, leave a comment letting me know where and when you're listening. And if you enjoy near-death experiences with a touch of humour from 20,000 BC, hit that subscribe button. But only if you really mean it. Let's begin. And try not to freeze. Chapter 1. Cold isn't the word. It's not bruh cold. It's not I can see my breath cold. It's not even let's cancel the plans and stay in cold. This is minus 40 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit. It doesn't matter. This is the temperature where both systems stop arguing and agree. You're about to die. This isn't just cold that stings. This is cold that interrogates your soul. It climbs down your throat and takes up residence in your chest. It whispers dark thoughts in your ear like, wouldn't it be easier to just lie down? You, fresh out of the 21st century, have no idea what's coming. Your idea of extreme weather is forgetting your gloves on a windy Tuesday. You once panicked because the heating in your Airbnb was set to 19 degrees Celsius. You own thermal socks with cartoon llamas on them and once referred to a light drizzle as brutal. Adorable. Now, you're standing in the Ice Age in sneakers, jeans and a fleece hoodie that says Colorado 2018, which means you are scientifically speaking a soft-boiled idiot. Let's talk hypothermia, because you are about to become its close personal friend. It starts with shivering. Harmless, right? Cute even. But that's not you getting warm. That's your body begging you to light something on fire. Anything. Your shoe, your hopes, your childhood stuffed animal, it doesn't care. After that, the fun begins. Your fingers stop working, you drop everything, you lose fine motor skills, and soon you're fumbling with sticks like a drunk raccoon trying to build IKEA furniture. Your speech slurs. You trip over nothing. You think the snow feels kind of warm, inviting even. That's your brain signing the resignation letter. At this point, prehistoric people were already inside, huddled in animal hides. Gathered around a fire, they spent hours creating with flint, moss, and sheer panic. You're still trying to warm your hands by breathing on them. Now, let's add in the wind. Here doesn't caress your cheeks. It sandblasts your will to live. It rips through your hoodie like a knife through cotton candy. It howls like a dying wolf and sounds suspiciously like it's laughing at you. And the snow, not fluffy, not magical. It's hard, it's sharp, and it wants you gone. You fall into a drift and suddenly you're waist deep in powder that feels like cement for souls. Try to climb out and your limbs scream in frozen protest. You think you can just walk back to camp? Think again. Your body's shutting down, your feet are going numb, your toes are staging a quiet rebellion, possibly detaching as we speak. Let's talk modern humans. You're pampered. You complain when your seat warmer doesn't activate in under 30 seconds. You cancel plans over a slight chill. You sleep under 3 blankets and still complain it's a little drafty. You're not ready for the Ice Age. Ice Age humans didn't just survive the cold, they feared it. They respected it. They worshipped fire like a fragile god. They layered animal hides, burned whale blubber, slept in huddles like prehistoric puppies, and even then people still died from cold. You once tried to survive winter with a heated blanket and a cinnamon latte. In about 30 more minutes, you'll be too cold to care. That's when the real danger sets in. Your brain, desperate and confused, might convince you that taking off your clothes is a great idea. Spoiler, it's not. It's a symptom. It's the final level of I don't want to be here anymore. And in the morning, if someone finds you, your body curled up like a modern art installation in denim and shame, you'll be frozen solid, mouth open, eyes glassy, still clutching that useless key fob in your pocket like it could unlock a warm car that no longer exists. That's the Ice Age. Cold doesn't warn you, cold doesn't negotiate, cold just waits and wins. Chapter 2. Dinner is massive and actively trying to kill you. You're hungry, not I could go for a snack hungry, not I skip breakfast hungry. This is Ice Age hunger, the kind where your stomach sounds like a growling cave bear and your brain starts eyeing nearby rocks like they're marshmallows. Spoiler, they're not. There's no grocery store, no fridge, no protein bars, no Uber Eats arriving on a sled pulled by wolves. Just you, a stick, and a dream that smells faintly like roasted mammoth. Let's talk about that mammoth, your best and worst dinner option. It's the size of a school bus, covered in fur so thick it laughs at sub-zero temperatures, weighs 6 tons, has tusks the length of surfboards, and a mood somewhere between I just woke up and I will end you. So naturally, you have to hunt it. Welcome to Ice Age cuisine. Your dinner is armoured, enormous, angry, and currently stomping across the tundra like a tank in shag carpeting. You don't have a gun. You don't have a trap. You don't even have a YouTube tutorial on how to kill one. What you do have, a pointy stick, frostbitten fingers, and the vague memory of a motivational quote. Let's go through your options. Option A. Spear it and scream. Sounds simple. It's not. You run at the mammoth with your stick, yelling like a maniac. Best case, you poke it. Worst case, it notices. If it charges, you won't hear it. You'll feel it as your body is compressed into the snow like prehistoric lasagna. Option B. Pit trap. Ice Age hunters dug massive holes, covered them with branches, and lured mammoths in like giant shaggy idiots. You can't even dig a snow fort. Your version collapses in 30 seconds and traps yourself instead. Option C. Distract and ambush. One person waves a torch, another sneaks behind with a spear. Teamwork. Unfortunately, you don't have a team. You're solo, freezing and waving a half-lit stick while praying to a sky you no longer trust. Let's say, by some frozen miracle, you and your hypothetical tribe actually take down a mammoth. Great. Now the real work begins. Step 1. Don't get crushed during the fall. They don't die gracefully. They collapse like God just dropped a couch out of the sky. Step 2. Butcher the thing. With what? Your stone knife that's more rock with attitude than tool? You'll be hacking at frozen meat for hours while your fingers slowly turn into decorative icicles. Step 3. Watch your back. Wolves, saber-toothed cats, and that one lazy guy in the tribe who didn't help hunt, but still wants the biggest piece? They're circling. You're tired. You're holding half a mammoth kidney and trying not to cry. So why go through all this? Because calories survival. Early humans weren't chasing flavor, they were chasing thermodynamics. Fat was gold, marrow was life. Meat was your battery pack. They didn't eat for taste. They ate because if they didn't, they'd become someone else's meal. You, on the other hand, once complained your chicken nuggets were a little dry. And foraging? Ha! The landscape is a frozen buffet of disappointment. Berries? Maybe. Nuts? If you like cracking them with your forehead. Roots? Toxic, frozen, or taste like ancient dirt. Your ancestors figured this out through trial and dramatic, often deadly error. One guy ate the wrong mushroom and spent the next 12 hours screaming at a tree. Another ate a beetle and died with a surprised look on his face. Now that's a Yelp review you can trust. So here you are, starving, shaking, and staring down a prehistoric monster that would rather stomp you than season itself. You're cold, you're weak, you're a snack, and somewhere deep inside the mammoth knows it. Bon appétit. Chapter 3. Foraging, a culinary game of Russian roulette. You're still hungry. You tried hunting a mammoth. It stomped, snorted, and emotionally destroyed you. So now you're thinking, I'll just eat plants. I'm a modern herbivore with a sensitive gut and a Pinterest board full of kale. Adorable. Also fatal. Welcome to Ice Age foraging, where everything looks like salad but most of it is out to kill you. Let's be clear. There's no Whole Foods, no labels, no influencer holding up a root and whispering superfood. There's just you, a frozen landscape, and a handful of shrubs that taste like regret. You crouch down, spotting a few berries under the snow, bright red, plump, inviting. Could be nutritious. Could also be instant intestinal fireworks. That's the Ice Age snack wheel. You spin, and nature decides whether you eat, trip, or die foaming at the mouth. Even if they don't kill you outright, most wild berries offer the full tasting menu of misery. Mouth numbness, face-tingling explosive regret. Sudden public vomiting. You're only public as a confused vole. And what about roots? You dig one up, dust it off, give it a sniff. Looks like a sweet potato. It isn't. It's a prehistoric digestive landmine. Here's the thing. Back in the day, people didn't know what was safe. They learned the old-fashioned way, by sending in someone named Grog to eat it first. If Grog lived, dinner. If Grog died foaming at the mouth, not dinner. You don't have a Grog. You're Grog now, congratulations. Even the stuff that is edible comes with conditions. You have to soak it, boil it, pound it with a rock. Fermented in bear urine under a moss pillow for 3 days. Then maybe, it won't liquefy your intestines. And don't even think about mushrooms. They're the original Ice Age prank. 2 look identical. One feeds you, the other shows you God and then kills you mid-vision. Nuts. If you find any, great. Now try cracking one open with numb fingers and a frozen rock while the wind screams in your ears like a vengeful banshee. You'll either break the nut or your wrist. You reach down and find a bug under a rotting log. A beetle, crunchy, packed with protein. Also, trauma. You eat it anyway. Why? 'Cause it's that or starvation. And still, you're somehow the weakest link on the food chain. Everything else is built for this. Birds eat seeds, foxes eat birds, wolves eat foxes. You eat sadness and frost. You once turned your nose up at soup because it was a little bland. Now you're chewing frozen bark like it owes you money and wondering whether the afterlife includes pizza. Let's talk toxicity. Some Ice Age plants were designed by nature to look delicious but act like medieval poison. If it tastes bitter, burns your mouth or makes your tongue go numb too late, you've already swallowed it. And there's no ER out here. Only the tribal shaman rubbing pine needles on your forehead and whispering to the sky. You feel dizzy. Your vision swims. You're not ascending to a higher plane. You're having a reaction. Congratulations. You've just joined history's longest-running food challenge. Don't die from this leaf. Even the survivors didn't eat for pleasure. They ate for math. Will this give me enough calories to not freeze to death? That's the whole recipe. You once skipped dinner because the chicken was slightly pink. Now you're crouched in the snow, gnawing a dried root like a desperate hamster, hoping it doesn't kill you faster than the cold. So, yes, you can try foraging. You might find something edible, but odds are you're going to find food poisoning regret and a one-way trip to the Great Ice Buffet in the sky. Bon appetit, plant enthusiast. You're going to die anyway. Chapter 4. Fashion from the recently deceased. Let's talk about what you're wearing. Sneakers, jeans, a hoodie with some ironic slogan like chill vibes only. You are, to put it bluntly, dressed for a mild autumn brunch, not for frozen prehistoric hell. Here in the Ice Age, your outfit is less ready for winter and more ready to be cryogenically preserved for science. Your hoodie soaks up cold like a sponge. Your jeans might as well be paper. And those sneakers? They're just open invitations for frostbite to move in, unpack, and redecorate. Meanwhile, the locals, the actual Ice Age humans, are strutting around looking like they just defeated a wolf with their bare hands and then decided to wear it as a warning to others. Because that's what they did. Ice Age fashion was not about aesthetics. It was about survival. Every outfit said one thing. I fought nature. I won. Now I'm wearing it. Let's break it down. Step 1. Kill something terrifying. First, you need an animal, not a rabbit, not a goose, something massive, hairy, and preferably recently dead, like a deer or a bear, or if you're really ambitious, a mammoth. Problem: you don't know how to kill anything. Last week you screamed when a spider walked toward you with intent. So let's assume someone else killed it for you. Step 2. Skin it. This isn't taking off a coat. This is scraping flesh off muscle off bone using a flint shard and a prayer. You need to remove the skin, strip the fat, and somehow not vomit the entire time. It takes hours. Your hands are frozen. Your tools are sharp rocks. You end up covered in gore, fur, and shame. And you haven't even started tanning yet. Step 3. Tan the hide. Tanning is not sunbathing, it's biological horror. You soak the hide in urine or animal brains. Sometimes both. Why? Because ancient humans discovered that pea and grey matter chemically soften the skin. Now you're kneading soggy animal flesh in a bucket of brain juice. It smells like a science experiment no one asked for. You cry. The wind laughs. Step 4. Sew it together. No sewing machine, no thread. You're working with sinew, dried animal tendon that breaks if you breathe wrong. And for a needle, a sharpened bone. Because nothing says comfort like jabbing a tiny shard of skeleton through a pelt while your fingers go numb and your soul leaves your body. You try to make a coat. You end up with a misshapen patchwork blob that smells like fear. But hey, at least it's warm. Maybe. Step 5. Fashion meets function. Ice Age humans didn't just survive in these outfits. They thrived layered furs for insulation. Thick outer hides for wind protection, boots stuffed with moss, hoods lined with rabbit fluff. They were walking, grunting bundles of tactical warmth. And you're still wearing socks with avocado prints and wondering why your toes feel crunchy. Let's be clear, fashion in the Ice Age wasn't optional. If you messed it up, you didn't look silly, you died. Your jacket rips on a tusk? Too bad, guess your left arm freezes tonight. Lose a boot in a snowbank? Enjoy hobbling around with one foot in the Ice Age and the other in the afterlife. No backups, no, just borrow mine. Just you, your one outfit, and nature breathing down your neck with icy intent. Also, you can't wash these clothes. Sure, you can try dunking them in a stream, but they'll freeze solid before you can wring them out. Congratulations, you now own a frozen leather plank. Fashion isn't fun out here. It's violent, it's messy. It's held together with dead things and sheer stubbornness. So next time you complain that your winter coat isn't cute, remember, Ice Age humans made theirs from wolves they personally defeated. You can't even thread a button without Googling it. Chapter 5. Shelter Holberwoning. Pick your death trap. It's getting dark. The wind is picking up. Your breath is coming out in clouds, and congratulations. You've survived your first Ice Age afternoon, but now it's night. And night in the Ice Age isn't just dark, it's malevolent. The temperature is dropping faster than your morale, and you need shelter. You know, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to warm up, somewhere that hopefully doesn't result in your lifeless body being discovered by archaeologists 20,000 years later, clutching a frozen cliff bar and a look of deep regret. Let's explore your options. Option A. Build a hut, aka DIY. Death in your igloo. You think, I'll build a shelter? How hard can it be? Spoiler, very. First you need wood, but it's buried under a meter of snow and frozen solid into the earth like prehistoric Excalibur. You chip away with a rock, you cry a little, you chip some more. Congratulations. You now have one half-frozen stick and a growing sense of despair. Next, insulation. There's no fiberglass, no tarp, just animal skins which you have to either kill, trade for, or politely steal from a wolf that's already claimed them. You slap together a frame with sticks, bones, and your remaining dignity. You cover it in furs, snow, and hopelessness. You stand back and admire your creation. It looks like a collapsed beanbag chair someone tried to set on fire. Wind whistles through the cracks. Snow drips from the ceiling. You try to lie down, and the entire thing leans to the left like it's giving up with you. Oh, and you still need a fire. Because nothing says cozy cabin vibes like rubbing two sticks together while weeping in a blizzard. Early humans had years of practice, dried moss, flint, and community knowledge. You have damp twigs and a vague memory of a Bear Grylls episode. Eventually, if the shelter doesn't fall on you and the fire doesn't die instantly, you might be safe, unless the smoke chokes you in your sleep, or the wolves find your scent, or you roll over and collapse your sad hut with your body weight. But hey, at least you tried. Option B. Sleep in a cave, aka real estate with extra trauma. Caves, sturdy, naturally insulated, wind resistant. Sounds perfect, right? Just one problem, everything else in the Ice Age also thinks caves are perfect. And unlike you, they have teeth. Say hello to your new roommates. A bear the size of a minivan with a snore like an earthquake. A pack of hyenas who aren't laughing with you. And maybe a saber-toothed cat who just wants alone time and thinks you look like a noisy snack. Even if the cave seems empty, it probably isn't. It just means whatever lives there is out hunting and will be back soon, grumpy and wet. And if the cave is abandoned, good news, you found shelter. Bad news, it reeks of wet fur, bones, and decade-old fear. The floor is uneven, the ceiling drips icy water directly on your forehead, and there's probably something squishy in the corner that you really shouldn't touch. Also, good luck sleeping. Every gust of wind sounds like growling. Every shadow looks like claws, and every dream ends with you becoming a cave bear's bedtime snack. Option C. Lie in the snow and cry, aka give up gracefully. At this point, the idea of building a hut or stealing a cave from a predator just feels exhausting. So you consider just lying down in the snow and letting fate do its thing. You nestle in. It's weirdly peaceful. You stop shivering. You feel warm. Almost too warm. That's not comfort. That's hypothermia's final hug. Moral of the story? Ice Age shelter isn't about comfort. It's not cozy. It doesn't come with throw pillows or scented candles. It's a brutal fight between you, the cold, and whatever carnivore you're evicting. If you want to survive the night, pick a shelter. Defend it like your life depends on it, because it absolutely does. Chapter 6. Gesundheit Rub some moss on it and hope. You trip over a rock. You stub your toe. You slice your hand on a flint shard while trying to whittle a stick into something vaguely useful. Congratulations, you're now medically compromised. And in the Ice Age, that means one thing. You're on a countdown to death. Let's make this very clear. There is no hospital, no first aid kit, no soothing voice saying, you're going to feel a little pressure. There is moss, there is sinew, and there is a tribal shaman named Barkface who thinks humming into your wound will realign your foot's energy. Modern medicine has absolutely spoiled you. You get a paper cut and apply 3 types of cream. You Google symptoms and panic. You go to urgent care because your pinky tingled once. Out here, you gash your leg and someone says, just pack it with mud and don't look at it. Let's break down your Ice Age medical plan. You get a cut. A simple slice. Could have happened to anyone. You were trying to gut a fish or shave a spear or look useful in front of the tribe. Now your hand is bleeding. You reach for a bandage. They hand you a handful of moss and some animal tendon. That's it. That's the kit. They mash the moss onto the wound and tie it with sinew that breaks if you sneeze too hard. It itches. It smells like swamp and goat. It's probably home to something alive. Infections? Absolutely. By day 3, your cut is red, swollen, and leaking something that should not be yellow. But don't worry, Barkface is back. He sprinkles some crushed bark into the wound, chants in a language even the wolves find suspicious, and declares you in balance with the snow spirits. You're not. You're about to lose a limb. You break a bone. You slip chasing a rabbit. Now your ankle is twisted in directions bones shouldn't go. In 2025, this gets you. An ambulance. An X-ray cast. An apology from the nurse in a juice box. In 20,000 BC, you get 2 sticks and a guy who once saw someone else do this. They splint your leg with branches, sinew, and blind optimism. No morphine, no Novocaine. Just a fur blanket to bite and a group of people telling you don't scream too loud. It attracts wolves. If you're lucky, the bone sets. If you're not, your leg now bends permanently like a question mark. Toothache. There is no dentist. Your toothbrush is a chewed stick. Your toothpaste is ash and spit. And your treatment plan is live with it until the pain becomes unbearable. Then they call Barkface. He shows up with a rock and a wooden wedge. He doesn't numb you. He doesn't warn you. He just leans in and yanks it out like he's opening a stubborn coconut. You faint. You wake up toothless, crying and bleeding into the snow. He gives you a piece of dried root to chew on and tells you it's sacred. It's not. It's a stick of suffering. Fever. Cold. Weird rash. Too bad. You get herbal smoker song and maybe a poultice made from rabbit guts. Nothing works. You're either going to sweat it out or hallucinate your way into the next dimension. Death is awkward. Nobody wants to talk about it, but everyone's thinking it. Because if your infection spreads, if your leg goes black, if your fever doesn't break, you're gone. Digging graves in permafrost? Hard. Most likely they'll just wrap you in a fur and leave you under a rock with a grunt and a half-hearted goodbye. So, yes, medical care in the Ice Age is 1 part guesswork, 1 part moss, and 12 parts trauma. If you get hurt, you don't get better, you just slowly dissolve into folklore. Chapter 7. Tandilkunde de Griptang van der Hel. Let's talk teeth, specifically yours, and how they're about to betray you. You've been gnawing on dried mammoth jerky, cracking nuts with your molars, and chewing frozen root vegetables that taste like petrified despair. And now, surprise, your back tooth has declared war. It throbs, it pulses. It feels like it's trying to dig its own escape tunnel out of your jaw. Normally, you'd book a dentist, get a checkup, get x-rays, numb the area. Watch fish on a ceiling screen while someone gently fixes your molar with science and kindness. But this is the Ice Age. There is no dentist, there is no chair, there is no Novocaine. There is Barkface again. He does dentistry. He also talks to rocks. Step 1. Diagnosis by grunting. You tell the tribe healer your mouth hurts. He grunts once, looks inside, and immediately pulls out something that looks like a rusted meat hook forged by Satan. That one, he says. That one, the throbbing one. The one nestled between 2 healthy ones, miles from the front. Cool, let's go. Step 2. Extraction, aka medieval torture with bonus screaming. There is no dental chair. You sit on a log, someone holds your shoulders, another holds your head. And then Barkface goes in. He doesn't ask if you're ready. He doesn't explain the process. He just grabs your tooth like he's trying to pry open a locked treasure chest using pure vengeance. The pain is immediate. It's total. It radiates through your jaw, into your ears, down your spine, and straight into your sense of reality. You try not to scream. You fail. Birds fly off. Wolves pause. A mammoth in the distance looks up like, oof! Barkface keeps twisting. The tooth cracks. You hear it. You feel it. It echoes in your skull like thunder through a cave. Blood pours down your chin. Your soul briefly leaves your body to go cry somewhere else. Step 3. Aftercare, Just kidding. The tooth finally comes out. You gasp, you sob, you feel hollow. Not just in your mouth, but in your spirit. Barkface proudly holds up your bloody molar like it's an Olympic medal. He drops some moss in the hole and tells you to bite gently. You're not sure if he means the moss or your own tongue. That's it. No rinse, no antibiotics, no sympathy. Your reward? A hollow space in your jaw, a lifelong fear of logs, and a future as the tribe's gap-toothed cautionary tale. Bonus round. Preventative care? Not a thing. Brushing your teeth? Not unless you count chewing on a stick until it frays. Toothpaste? Try ash mixed with crushed animal bones. Breath freshener? Ha! Your breath smells like mammoth meat and regret. Cavities aren't treated. They're endured until the pain is unbearable, and then it's back to the log, the meat hook, and the screaming. Tooth alignment? If your teeth grow in crooked, that's your look now. You're not ugly, you're character building. Braces? You can barely make a thread from sinew. You think you're wiring molars? Fact. People used to believe tooth worms caused the pain. Invisible worms living in your teeth, gnawing from the inside out. And honestly, after today's experience, you kinda believe it too. So no, there's no dental plan. There's just pain, panic, and pliers carved from nightmares. And if you think that molar hurts now, just wait until Barkface gets creative and tries burning the hole closed with a hot stick, for balance or for drama. No one knows anymore. Your Ice Age dental experience is now complete. Please enjoy your new lifelong fear of smiling, chewing, and healers named after bark. Chapter 8. Hygiene Disparve and Stanken Shamter. You stink. No, really, you do. Not I forgot deodorant today stink, not I wore the same hoodie twice stink. We're talking Ice Age stink, the kind that lingers, seeps into your soul, and causes nearby animals to give you that look. Let's be honest, your modern body is not ready for this level of filth. You're used to warm showers, floral body wash, and maybe a minty exfoliating scrub. You once complained because your shampoo was a little too thick. Out here, there is no shampoo, there is no soap, there is no spa. There's a river that smells like mammoth backwash, and the howling wind of disappointment. Step 1. Bathing. If you dare. Why not wash in the river, you ask? Because the river is made of pure death. It's glacial meltwater. One toe in and your brain starts sending out farewell letters. You strip down, because modesty died an hour ago, and step into the water. Immediately you go through all 5 stages of grief. Denial. This isn't so bad. Anger. Who invented this water? Bargaining. I'll bathe next week instead. Depression. I used to have a warm towel. Acceptance screaming into the void. You don't bathe here. You fight for survival while briefly underwater. And when you finally get out, dripping, purple, and slightly traumatized, the wind slaps you across the face like it's personally offended by your existence. Your skin tightens, your hair freezes, and you consider going back in just to die warmer. Step 2. The soap situation. No brand names, no packaging, just ashes, crushed herbs, and crushed hope. You rub some gritty mixture onto your arms and wonder, is this actually cleaning me or just making me smell like burnt disappointment? Probably both. Step 3. Hair care, please. Your hair hasn't been washed since you fell in that freezing stream last week, and even then it was more of a panic drowning than anything cleansing. Conditioner? Try combing moss through your split ends. Your hair has now fused into one matted prehistoric helmet. You hear birds chirping above and worry they're considering nesting in it. Someone hands you a fishbone comb, it breaks. You cry silently while trying to yank dried blood and mammoth grease out of your bangs. Step 4. dental hygiene. Ha! Brushing your teeth? You gnaw a stick until it frays and hope for the best. Your toothpaste is spit, ash, and possibly elk urine. Fresh breath is a fantasy. Your breath smells like smoked meat, regret, and slowly dying enamel. You open your mouth and people take a step back, not out of respect but out of self-defense. Step 5. The toilet problem. You need to go, but where? Pick a tree, dig a hole, try not to freeze anything vital. There's no toilet paper, no privacy, just wind, wolves, and the occasional judgmental snow hare. You finish your business, reach for a handful of moss and pretend it's 2-ply. It isn't. It's nature's sandpaper. Bonus, halfway through you lock eyes with a snow leopard. You're in a squat. It's watching. There is no dignity here, only shared discomfort. Step 6. Drying your clothes. Want clean clothes? Throw them in the river, smash them with a rock, hold them up triumphantly like you've conquered laundry. Now try to dry them. They freeze instantly. You now own a shirt-shaped ice sculpture. You slap it against a tree, shatter it, and weep into your frozen boots. Final thought. You are one with the stench. After a week you no longer notice your smell, but others do. The shaman starts burning extra herbs when you walk by. Children cry softly near your sleeping mat. Wolves sniff you and walk away. You're no longer human. You're a walking cloud of prehistoric body odour wrapped in wet leather. And the worst part, it only gets worse from here. Chapter 9. Social ongemakkelijkheid waarom je iedereen per ongeluk belidet. Surviving the cold, hard. Surviving the wildlife, terrifying. But the hardest part of Ice Age survival? Not offending everyone around you with your modern personality. You've been dropped into a tight-knit tribe of hunter-gatherers who have lived, fought, eaten, and squatted together their entire lives. They understand each other with a grunt, a glance, or a shared stare at a bear print. You smile too much and say sorry for everything. Congratulations, you're the weird one. Step 1. Greetings gone wrong. You meet someone, you wave. Big mistake. In this tribe, raising your hand like that might mean I challenge you, or your mother smells like fermented elk. Suddenly, a tall man named Grook is squaring up like it's UFC, Ice Age edition. You try to backpedal. He throws a snowball with the weight of pure generational trauma. Lesson. Sometimes a grunt is safer than words. Step 2. Eye contact, a dangerous game. You look someone in the eye. Not creepy, just confident, right? Wrong. In this tribe, direct eye contact is either a proposal or a threat. There is no in-between. Within 3 minutes, someone's either offering you a bone necklace or sharpening a spear with your name carved into it. Either way, awkward. Step 3. Personal space is a myth. You like your bubble. You once got irritated because someone stood too close to you in a coffee shop. In the Ice Age, everyone shares the same hut, the same fire, the same smells, and occasionally the same mammoth hide for sleeping. Personal space is about as real as indoor plumbing. Try backing away and they'll assume you're sick, angry, or hiding food. So you stay in the cuddle pile and slowly accept your fate as a sweaty, unwilling spoon. Step 4. Eating etiquette. Don't look at the liver. The tribe sits down to eat. You're handed a steaming pile of something. It's brown, it's glistening, it might still be moving. You hesitate, you sniff it, you poke it with a stick. Insult. That was the prized organ of the kill, the good part. They gave it to you as an honor, and now you're sitting there treating it like expired sushi. Everyone stares. The shaman mutters. A child hisses. So you take a bite. It's chewy. It tastes like damp metal and betrayal. You smile through the pain and try not to cry into your offal. Step 5. Clothing choices. Matter. You decide to customize your outfit. A cool sash, maybe a feather in your hair. You want to blend in. Surprise! The feather you just added? That's funeral wear. You just walked into breakfast dressed for someone's death ceremony. No one tells you. They just stare, quietly, uncomfortably, like you farted in church. Later, someone softly places a stone in your lap. You don't know what it means. You hope it's not a curse token. Step 6. Language barriers, public embarrassment. You try speaking their language. You mispronounce a word. You meant hello, friend. You said, I lick goat sweat. Now you're banned from the Elder Fire Circle for 3 moons and someone's aunt won't stop glaring at you. Step 7. Humour doesn't translate. You make a joke. Sarcastic, dry, classic 21st century wit. They don't laugh. They don't blink. They look at you like you just cursed their crops. Meanwhile, a guy trips over a log and everyone laughs for 10 minutes. You try laughing too. Too late. Too loud. They think you're mocking him. Now you're the cruel one. The tribe's vibe killer. Final thought. You're the weird foreign exchange caveman. You're trying. You're being polite. You just want to fit in. But your every word, movement, outfit, and facial expression is a potential tribal offence. And the more you try to act normal, the more they look at you like you're about to steal their firewood or flirt with their goat. So you sit silently, smile gently, nod when they grunt, and pray no one asks you to dance, because Ice Age dancing, you're not ready for that. Chapter 10. Entertainment, Botan, Slay and Feast. You survived another day, you didn't freeze, you didn't get eaten, you only mildly insulted the tribal elder by accidentally miming your hut smells like dead elk. Well done. Now it's evening. Time to relax, right? No phones, no Wi-Fi, no Netflix queue to scroll through for 45 minutes before giving up and watching the same show again. Welcome to Ice Age entertainment, where your options are staring into a fire, hitting things with sticks, and maybe humming. If you're lucky, there's a story. If you're really lucky, it doesn't involve someone getting disemboweled by a bear. Option 1. Fire staring. The original screen time. The tribe gathers around the flames. You're cold, exhausted, and honestly just thrilled to sit down without risking death. You stare into the fire. So does everyone else. No one talks. No one moves. It's hypnotic. It's kind of nice. It's basically prehistoric meditation until someone throws a log on the fire and you scream because you thought it was a bear. Now they think you're jumpy. You are. Option 2. Storytime murder, mayhem mammoths. An elder begins to speak. The rest lean in. You assume it's a bedtime tale. It isn't. It's the story of how their cousin Grog was gored by a mammoth crawled 5 kilometers with his intestines dragging like a scarf, and then bit a wolf in the throat before dying like a hero. Children cheer. Someone yells, "More blood next time." You sip melted snow water and wonder what happened to the very hungry caterpillar. Then it's your turn. They point at you. You're the guest. You tell the plot of Titanic. They stare in awe. But then someone asks, why did they not simply eat the woman? Fair. Option 3. Music hit rock, make boom. One guy grabs a bone, another has a hollow log. Someone starts slapping a rock with rhythmic aggression. And boom, you're at a concert. The music is raw, primal, and loud. It's 70% rhythm, 20% yelling, 10% animal noises. You don't know the beat, but you join in. You grab 2 bones and start clacking. You're into it. You feel cool. Then you get overexcited and accidentally throw a bone into the fire. The shaman glares. You've disrespected the rhythm spirits. You sit back down. Option 4. dancing chaos with vibes. Suddenly everyone's up, dancing, jumping, spinning. You try to join in, you flail your arms. You step left when everyone else steps right. You look like a flamingo having a panic attack. A child laughs. Someone offers you a bone drumstick. You drop it. It rolls into the fire. Again. You're now banned from holding percussion instruments. Option 5. Mock hunts. Reenact, scream, repeat. For fun, they act out that day's hunt. One person is the mammoth, another is the brave hunter. Everyone else makes mammoth sounds, which apparently involve fart noises and deep throat growls. You're given a stick and told to be the second spear. You don't know what that means. You stab at the air and fall backward. The tribe cheers anyway. You're now spear dancer. You don't know if it's a compliment or a punishment. Bonus round. Accidental fun. Real danger. You tried juggling rocks. You hit yourself in the head. Someone gives you a nickname that translates to stone skull. You laugh. They're not joking. Later that night, a guy eats a fermented berry, climbs a tree and yells poetry at the moon. Everyone claps. You try to clap. You accidentally slap your own face. Now you're both entertained and bruised. Final thought. This is Ice Age. Netflix. Storytelling is brutal. Music is loud. Dancing is random. And bone percussion is legally a sport. But somehow it works. You laugh. You grunt. You forget that everything outside the fire circle wants to kill you. It's not TikTok. It's not streaming. But for one cold night, smacking bones together and yelling at stars feels like the best show on earth. Chapter 11. Overleving Stips Domfuten die Jagan Doden. Welcome to your crash course in Ice Age survival. You've survived the cold, avoided getting eaten mostly, and only mildly insulted 2 tribal elders and a snow leopard. But now it's time for the real test, avoiding stupid mistakes. The kind that don't just make you look silly, they get you killed. So, sit down, listen closely, because out here, one dumb decision is all it takes to become a fun fact in a future museum. Rule #1, don't lick frozen metal. Yes, even now, especially now, you see a shiny piece of bone or flint glistening with frost. You think, I wonder what it tastes like. You press your tongue to it. Congratulations, you're now permanently attached. The cold fuses your flesh to the surface like a bad relationship. You scream, you panic. The tribe gathers around to watch your tongue versus physics battle. Someone pours warm mammoth pee on it. You unstick, but your pride, gone forever. Rule #2. That pile of fur might be breathing. You're tired. You see a fluffy mound in a cave. You think, perfect sleeping spot. You snuggle in. It's warm. It's soft. It's not a bed. It's a bear. A sleeping bear. Now it's an angry bear. You're the reason it woke up. You're also its breakfast. The last thing you see is a blur of claws, teeth, and the realization that fur furniture. Rule #3. Don't eat the pretty berries. If it's colourful, juicy, and looks delicious, it's trying to kill you. You pick a handful of bright purple berries and pop them like prehistoric Skittles. 10 minutes later, you're on your knees, vomiting into a snowbank and seeing your ancestors. Meanwhile, the tribe is laughing because those are known as bear laxatives. They gave them that name for a reason. Rule #4. Fire good, fire hair bad. You finally made a fire. You're proud. You lean in close to warm your hands. Then your fur hood lights up like a birthday cake. You roll, you scream, you stop, drop, and flop. The tribe now calls you Smokehead, and you're not allowed near the fire unsupervised. Rule #5. Ice is not your friend. That frozen lake looks beautiful, smooth, calm, peaceful. You step on it. It creaks. You take another step. It cracks. Then you fall through like an idiot. Now you're in liquid death. You flail, you scream. You launch yourself out and lie on the bank, soaking wet and instantly freezing. Your pants turn to ice armor. You waddle home like a frozen duck. Lesson: if it glistens, avoid it. Rule #6. Don't chase anything bigger than you. That reindeer looks slow. You think, I can catch it. You can't. You won't. It turns around, headbutts you into a tree and disappears into the snow. Now you have a concussion and a new nickname. Stag Fail. Rule #7. Never say, I think I know where we are. You don't. You get a feeling. You wander off alone. You follow some trees that look familiar. Now you're lost shivering and talking to a stick you named Carl. Hours later, the tribe finds you arguing with Carl over which direction is north. They leave you alone for a few more minutes, as punishment. Final thought. Survival is mostly not being stupid. You don't need to be strong. You don't need to be fast. You just need to not do dumb stuff, which for modern humans is asking a lot. So if it looks poisonous, don't eat it. If it looks cozy, make sure it's not alive. And if you feel confident, stop, reevaluate, apologize to Carl. Surviving the Ice Age isn't about being heroic. It's about not licking metal, not sleeping on bears, and not trusting your own instincts. You're welcome. Chapter 12. Everything wants to eat you. You're a soft, nervous snack. Let's be honest. You're not a predator. You're a snack. A confused, slow-moving, fleece-wearing snack with anxiety and seasonal allergies. And out here in the Ice Age, everything is hungry. Everything has claws, and everything runs faster than you. You're the walking equivalent of a warm croissant. Soft, squishy, mildly panicked and delicious. Predators. The night's menu. First up, the predators. Wolves? Not the cute Instagram huskies. These are prehistoric monsters with jaws like bear traps and eyes that say, dinner's walking weird today. They hunt in packs. They circle you. They don't bark. They coordinate. You scream. They tilt their heads. To them, you're just hairless veal in hiking boots. Terror birds, chickens with trauma. Yes, terror birds were real. Imagine a chicken. Now make it 10 feet tall, give it knife feet and take away its soul. These things sprint like they're chasing unpaid debts. You hear one scream. It sounds like a broken trumpet having a panic attack. You run. It runs faster. Your last thought, this feels personal. Saber-toothed tigers. Sleek, beautiful, murderous. They're majestic. They're elegant. They are murder in slow motion. You spot one on a rock looking like a prehistoric supermodel. You think, wow, stunning. It thinks, tenderized. You make eye contact. Big mistake. Now it's stalking you low, silent, focused. You try to act big. It yawns, then pounces like a refrigerator falling off a cliff. The tribe will remember you as the one who thought clapping was an anti-predator strategy. Water never trust it, ever. Ah, you think, I'll escape into the river. Wrong. That water is full of Ice Age crocodiles, logs with trauma and ambush skills. They don't chase, they wait. One moment, you're wading in, proud of your strategy. The next, you're being spun like pizza dough in a death roll. And even if you don't get eaten, you'll catch prehistoric bacteria and die of something named after a fungus we haven't seen since indoor plumbing was invented. Air the sky is against you. You think birds are harmless. You once fed pigeons in the park. Here, the sky wants you dead. Giant vultures circle above. Eagles the size of coffee tables scan the tundra for soft targets with poor reflexes. One dives. You flail. Your hat's gone. So is your dignity. You're now bald, bleeding, and afraid of clouds. Bonus. The tiny killers. It's not just the big ones. Small things are just as evil, insects that burrow under your skin, worms that enter through cuts and stay. That cute bunny? Rabid. You try to pet it. It bites. You cry. The tribe laughs for a week. You're basically a ready-to-eat meal. You're soft. You're warm. You can't climb. You can't detect danger. And you still believe yelling no will stop a predator. You're the easiest kill in 3,000 square miles. Out here, survival isn't about being dominant. It's about not looking like a solo cheeseburger in the wild. Final thought. Everything wants you dead. You're inside a living buffet and you're the main course. Every direction has teeth. Every shadow might growl, even the ground feels slightly aggressive. So keep moving, keep hiding, and above all, stop smelling like coconut conditioner. Chapter 13. Language barriers, cultural fails. You tried to say friend, they heard let's fight. You smiled. Now you're engaged. Let's face it. You barely understand modern social cues. You once misread a thumbs up emoji and caused a 3-day group chat silence. Now imagine navigating prehistoric tribal culture where every grunt, glance, and hand twitch might mean something, and probably not what you think it does. Here in the Ice Age, language is limited, facial expressions matter, gestures are serious, and you're about to offend literally everyone. Mistake hash 1, the wave of doom. You see someone. You wave. Simple, right? Friendly. Except, nope. In this tribe, raising your hand sideways like that means, I claim your fire pit and challenge your bloodline. Now a warrior named Krug is sharpening a bone and asking which limb you'd like to keep. You try explaining. They hear high-pitched noises and assume you're summoning spirits. Nice. Mistake hash 2, smiling passive-aggressive threat. You smile to break the tension. They gasp. The elder clutches his necklace. In your world, a smile means, I'm nice. Here, a smile means, I'm baring my teeth before I strike. It's the Ice Age version of flipping someone off while making direct eye contact. You backpedal. They circle you. A baby starts to cry. You consider hiding in a bush for the next month. Mistake hash 3. You accidentally propose to the shaman. You nod respectfully. You offer a dried mushroom. You touch your chest and say peace, which, unfortunately, in this dialect translates to, I offer my soul and body in union. Let us join under the great sky tree. Now the shaman is smiling. The tribe is cheering. Someone is braiding your hair. You are now married to a man named Glibnak who smells like smoke and fish bones. You sleep in the same hut tonight. Congratulations. Mistake hash 4. Wrong gesture, wrong time. You give a thumbs up. They interpret it as may your crops wither. You point at something cool. Now a child thinks they're being exiled. You try a peace sign. That's tribal code for I challenge the moon priest. You wanted to say thank you. You've just started a holy war. Mistake hash 5. Sounds that should never be made. You try speaking their words. You mispronounce one syllable and say, your ancestors are worms and your hut leaks elk pee. You are now banned from the women's fire circle and possibly cursed. Later you try to apologize with a funny noise. Turns out that's the sacred sound reserved for death rituals. A drumbeat starts. People weep. Someone brings out a ceremonial bone. You're now accidentally presiding over your own funeral. Bonus: listening is a trap. They speak to you, you nod, but you don't understand, you just nod like an idiot. Suddenly, 10 warriors are gathering weapons and everyone's looking at you like you volunteered for something. You smile, they cheer. You're now leading the scouting mission into dire wolf territory. No way out now. Final thought. You're a walking misunderstanding. In your time, you confused LOL with lots of love and sent it to someone who just broke up with their partner. Now, you're doing the Ice Age version of that every 5 minutes. Your face, hands, voice and posture are a cultural disaster. Every attempt at kindness turns into a challenge. Every greeting sounds like a threat, and every snack you offer is apparently reserved for sacred moon days. So what do? Keep quiet, look down, and under no circumstances, don't touch the ceremonial goat statue. Chapter 14. Technology? You have a rock. Good luck. You used to be someone. You had a smartphone, a backup charger, a smart fridge, and a Bluetooth toothbrush that judged you in real time. You once got annoyed when the Wi-Fi dropped for 30 seconds. Now? You have a rocker stick and a brain full of modern knowledge that's completely useless in the year 18,000 BC. You miss Google. You miss GPS. You miss the tiny flame of your gaslighter. What you have now? A rocker stick, and the cold, creeping realization that you're the weakest link in human history. Step 1. Fire nature's most annoying puzzle. You decide to make fire. You've seen this in documentaries. How hard can it be? Very. You rub 2 sticks together. Nothing. You add some dry grass. Still nothing. Smoke appears. You celebrate. Then cough violently because the smoke is in your lungs and your kindling is now just warm dust. 2 hours later, your hands are blistered, your fingers are frozen, and you've invented exactly 0 fire. A nearby caveman walks over, grunts, rubs 2 rocks together, ignites a flame in 8 seconds. He nods once and walks away. You try to copy him. You hit your thumb. Twice. You cry a little. It doesn't help. Step 2. Tools inventing the hammer. Badly. You need a knife, or an axe, or literally anything that might help you not die. You find a chunk of obsidian. Sharp, shiny, dangerous. You try to chip it into shape. It shatters into angry glitter and slices your hand. Congratulations. You now have prehistoric tetanus. You tie the rock to a stick with a vine. It wobbles like a sad spaghetti sword. You try to cut something, it breaks in half. You're now holding 2 sticks and bleeding. Progress. Step 3. Shelter construction with a master's in desperation. You want a home, a hut, a cozy rustic hideaway. You have 0 materials and 0 plans. You lean some sticks together. The wind laughs. A mammoth sneezes and your shelter collapses instantly. You try using stones. They fall on your foot. You try again. They fall on your other foot. You crawl into a bush and pretend it's a yurt. It isn't. Step 4. Navigation. You are here wherever here is. In modern life, you just open Google Maps. Now, your options are a sun that moves, a mossy rock, a vague feeling of maybe left. You walk north, you think. You circle the same hill twice. You find your own footprints. You consider asking for directions, except everyone you meet grunts and throws bones. You're officially lost in a 5-kilometer circle. Step 5. Hunting tech. It's you versus nature. You lose. You make a spear. You throw it. It lands 2 feet away and bounces back toward you. You make a trap. It traps you. You throw a rock at a bird. The bird dodges. The rock hits another caveman. Now you've started a blood feud. Nice. Final thought, you are the weakest link. Modern technology has failed you. Correction, you failed technology. You thought you were smart, you were tech savvy, you could troubleshoot a router. But now, you can't even create controlled fire without starting a brush disaster. You can't make a blade without injuring yourself and 3 bystanders, and the only tool you've successfully crafted is a shame stick. Your ancestors were out here building civilizations from flint and spit. You just duct taped a pebble to a twig and called it a survival kit. So, good luck. Keep chipping at that rock. Maybe one day you'll invent something useful. Until then, try not to freeze or bleed out, or insult another shaman by handing him a crooked spoon. Chapter 15. Group Dynamics, You're the Newbie, and the Punching Bag. Welcome to the tribe. You're not family. You're not even a guest. You're a confusing, hairless outsider in denim. And in Ice Age society, being new doesn't mean curious stares and warm welcomes. It means suspicion, laughter, and a front row seat to tribal hazing. Every group has a hierarchy, a pecking order. You're not on it. You're beneath it, buried in the snow next to a frozen fish and someone's discarded loincloth. Step 1. The fire circle is sacred. You're not. The tribe sits around the fire each night, laughing, eating, warming up. You approach the circle. They look at you like you just farted on a sacred mammoth bone. A child gestures to a cold rock near the edge. Congratulations. You've been given the worst seat by the fire 2 meters away upwind directly in the smoke path. You cough. They nod, satisfied. You're allowed to be warm after the dogs are done. Step 2. Your clothes are hilarious. You wore jeans, you thought they'd be rugged. They're not. They're stiff. They hold moisture. They freeze into denim armor the moment they touch snow. The tribe wears hides layered and stitched. You look like someone wrapped in sad blue cardboard. They poke your pants and laugh. You try to explain Levi's. Now they think you're named Levi. They throw you a fur scrap. It smells like wet goat. You thank them. They laugh harder. Step 3. You're lower than the dog. Every tribe has a totem animal, a revered beast. This one has a dog named Snar. Snar sleeps by the fire. He gets scraps. He gets affection. You get what Snar doesn't finish. You try to pet him. He growls. You apologize to the dog. He blinks. You blink. You both know who's higher status. Step 4. Eating last, if at all. You're hungry. You've done chores. You've nearly frozen to death multiple times. And yet, when dinner comes, you wait. They serve the hunters, then the elders, then the children, then the dogs, then you. You get a small bowl of what appears to be fat mixed with bark. You eat it gratefully. Someone says, "That was the bait for tomorrow's trap." Everyone laughs. You chew faster. You don't ask questions. Step 5. Everything is your fault. Someone loses a spear, you broke it. The wind tears the roof off the hut. You angered the sky spirits. 2 kids get sick. Must be your foreign genes disease. You apologize for everything. They still blame you for more. You've become the tribe's official scapegoat in stylish but impractical trousers. Step 6. The constant side-eye. They whisper. They glance. They throw bones behind you by accident. You try to bond. You make a joke. Silence. You try to help. You hand someone the wrong tool. Now you're the tool giver, a nickname that somehow manages to be both confusing and insulting. Final thought. You're not in. You're near. In modern life, being new means orientation packets, HR meetings, and welcome emails. Here, it means cold shoulders, colder beds, and the occasional mammoth bladder prank. You're not one of them. Not yet. Maybe never. But here's the good news. They haven't banished you. Yet. They're watching, judging, waiting to see if you die, contribute, or somehow invent heated underwear. Until then, sit by the smoke, eat the bark fat stew, and pray Snar doesn't pee on your sleeping spot again. Chapter 16. Children aren't cute. They throw things. Prehistoric children, tiny bundles of joy, sweet little angelic faces. No. They are chaos gremlins wrapped in fur, with no filters, no rules, and an unlimited supply of frozen projectiles. You try to be friendly. You crouch down, smile, wave. You say, "Hello there." A 7-year-old hurls a frozen lizard directly at your head. Bullseye. Welcome to Ice Age Daycare. You're the toy. You used to think babysitting was hard. Now it's a daily war zone. Children here are raised by wolves. Literally, in some cases. They climb like squirrels, scream like hawks, and treat every stick as a weapon of mass annoyance. You walk by, whack, tiny spear in the ankle. You yawn, black mudball to the face. You sit to rest. 3 of them tackle you yelling, "Beast hunt! You are the beast." You are their muse, but not in a good way. One evening you spot a cave painting, a mammoth, a hunter, another mammoth, and then you. Drawn badly, big ears, cross-eyed, pooping. They drew you pooping next to a mammoth. You confront the kids. They giggle and run. Now every day they add more. You falling in a hole, you crying, you being eaten by a bird. The shaman walks by, nods and mutters, "Accurate." Their games are violence. Their favourite games include rock tag, which is just tag with rocks. Sneak up and yell at the outsider. Who can hit the fire pit from the fur pile? Spoiler, you're the target, not the pit. You once tried to play back. You tossed a snowball. It hit the wrong kid, who turned out to be the chief's grandson. You spent the next 2 days scraping mammoth dung off hut walls as penance. Fun. You're their clown, without the dignity. You slipped on ice once. Once. Now you're a legend. They imitate you every night. Dramatic arm, flailing, screaming, oof. Pretending to fall into the fire. Even the babies are in on it. A toddler mimics your limp. The adults laugh. You clap. They clap. The toddler falls. Everyone cheers. You're now Fally Man. It's your tribal name. Forever. They don't respect you at all. You tell them a story. They interrupt with fart noises. You build a trap. They booby-trap it with mammoth turds. You offer them food. They sniff it, lick it, then throw it at your face and yell, "Gift rejected." You ask for quiet. They yell louder. One of them starts crying. You ask what's wrong. They say, "You exist." Fair. You try to outsmart them. You fail. You hide your supplies. They find them. You set boundaries. They cross them, then draw poop symbols on the line. You attempt psychological tactics. You mimic their behavior. They love it. Now they think you're one of them. You just became king of the dirt children. You sit on a log throne wearing a crown made of fish bones, and still they throw things at you. Final thought. They're feral, and you're their toy. These kids don't want hugs. They want targets, and you, poor outsider, are soft, confused, and incredibly throwable object-shaped. You're not their hero. You're not their role model. You're the human equivalent of a chew toy that screams. So put on your fishbone crown, dodge the lizards, and accept your fate. You are the village joke, and the kids run the village. Chapter 17. Your stomach can't handle this. Neither can your intestines. Welcome to Prehistoric Food Poisoning Deluxe. You used to be picky. No onions, no gluten, sauce on the side, please. You once sent back a salad because it had the wrong kind of lettuce. Now, you're chewing a frozen insect with a side of muddy root. Why? Because it's either that or eat snow and slowly die of sadness. Today's menu: regret, breakfast, half-rotten berries and a suspiciously crunchy mushroom. Lunch: rancid mammoth meat barely warmed over a smoky twig fire. Dinner: ice-crusted beetle stew with a hair in it, possibly yours, possibly not. And dessert: the growing feeling that your organs are evacuating the premises. Your stomach. What is this? It tried. It really did. It handled airplane food, that one questionable gas station sandwich, even your ex's cooking. But this is raw elk meat dragged through dirt and optimism. Was it cooked? Technically, yes, if waving it near a flame while sneezing counts. Now your stomach is making noises that resemble distant thunder wail. Mating calls a war horn from the underworld. Your tribe is concerned. Someone offers you tree bark. You cry quietly. Your intestines, full revolt. Your body has declared war. The digestive system has surrendered. You are now sweating, shivering, and sprinting toward the nearest snowbank with fear in your eyes and regret in your soul. There is no dignity here, no privacy. Just you, pants half down, trying not to die while a squirrel watches judgmentally. You don't even bother wiping. There's no moss soft enough for what you've just experienced. No spices, no soap, no hope. Nothing is washed, nothing is seasoned. Every bite is a game of microbial roulette. That water, not boiled, not filtered, just pond juice with bonus worms. That meat, stored in a cool, dry place, which means shoved under a rock and prayed over. You miss salt. You miss hygiene. You miss not pooping 12 times a day. Every meal is a gamble. You take a bite, you wait. Is it nourishment? Parasite buffet? Your final meal? There is no way to know. One wrong mushroom and you'll be hallucinating while weeping into a pile of ant legs. Your tribe nods, impressed. They think your breakdown is spiritual. It's just diarrhea. You start smelling like the food you fear. Your breath, rotten elk. Your clothes, smoke and spoiled root vegetables. Your fingers, somewhere between moss and meat sweat. You haven't felt clean since the third time you vomited behind a log and used your own sleeve to wipe your face. The tribe offers help, sort of. They give you medicine, crushed bug powder, warm deer fat, and a chant that sounds suspiciously like laughter. It doesn't help. It never helps. A child brings you a frozen worm on a stick. You pretend to eat it. He nods. You're now his godfather. Final thought. Your gut is not built for this. You're not just out of your comfort zone, you're out of your biome. Your ancestors ate fermented kale smoothies. You just ate something that blinked twice. Your organs hate you. Your stomach is writing a manifesto. And your colon? That thing quit 2 days ago and is ghosting your entire nervous system. So, enjoy that next bite of mystery meat. Just know you won't keep it long. Chapter 18. The night is dark, cold and screaming. Thinking of sleeping? That's adorable. Welcome to your first full night in the Ice Age. Your body's begging for rest. Your eyes are heavy. Your muscles ache. Too bad. Sleep is a privilege of the strong, and right now, you're just a nervous burrito in a damp animal skin. The wind is howling. The fire is dying. And somewhere out there, something is growling. Step 1. The fire is your god now. You swore you'd stay awake to keep the fire going, you promised. You were ready. Then you blinked a little too long. Now the fire is just sad orange dust and the cold is in your bones like a whisper saying, "You're gonna die tired." You scramble for wood. There is none. You grab frozen moss and try to convince yourself it's flammable. It's not. It smoulders. Then it explodes in sparks and burns your hands. You try blowing on it. The fire goes out. So do your dreams. Step 2. The cold is personal. This isn't regular cold. This is the void has teeth cold. The kind that doesn't just chill you, it betrays you. Your fur blanket, damp, your boots, frozen stiff, your breath, hanging in the air like a ghost looking for better hosts. You try curling tighter, you tuck your hands in your armpits, you contemplate crawling inside a dead animal. There's no dignity left, only frostbite. Step 3. Every sound is a threat. Snap, crack, howl. You perk up like a squirrel on espresso. Is that the wind? A predator? Your own spine shattering under stress. You hear something sniffing outside. Could be a mammoth, could be a wolf, could be a fever dream. Your brain tells you to calm down. Your gut says, dig your own grave. You grab a stick. You name it Kevin. You whisper to Kevin, don't let them take me. Kevin does nothing. Step 4. The wolves are singing. Somewhere in the distance, wolves start howling. At first it's beautiful, primal, majestic. Then it gets closer and closer. You hold your breath. The howls stop. Now it's quiet, which is worse. Because if the wolves stop howling, it means one thing. They've stopped searching. They've found something. You pray it's not you. You pray in 4 languages. You promise to stop complaining about Mondays if you survive this. Step 5. Sleep is for the dead, soon to include you. You try sleeping sitting up. Too cold. You lie on your side, rock in the ribs. You lie on your back. You start hallucinating constellations that look like your ex. You hear breathing, not yours. You open one eye. Just the wind? Or not. You sit up and tell yourself you're being paranoid, which is correct. Paranoia is the only thing keeping you warm. Final thought. Night is a test you're failing. Your tribe is snoring peacefully, having grown up in this madness. One of them is barefoot. Another is cuddling a rock. You're sweating through your fear, clinging to a stick named Kevin and whispering apologies to your ancestors. Sleep? You don't get sleep. You get light tremors and a facial twitch. Every gust of wind sounds like a scream. Every crackle of wood feels like judgment. You've made it through the day. Now try to make it through the night. Without crying, out loud at least. Outro. You're dead, but entertaining. Congratulations. You've made it to the end. Not of the journey. No, you died way back. Probably in week 1, day 3, hour 5. Most likely one of the following. Eaten by a terror bird because it looked kind of friendly. Froze to death while trying YouTube breathing techniques. Poisoned by a root with an attitude, or accidentally married a shaman and vanished in an off-screen ritual. You didn't make fire. You didn't build a shelter. You earned 0 social points within the tribe, and if your intestines could talk, they'd report you to the time police. But hey, you didn't give up. You stumbled through the snow, nearly lit yourself on fire, got dysentery from a salad, and were mocked by snot-nosed kids with hunting instincts. That's a kind of victory too. We began this journey with a simple question. Could you survive the Ice Age? The answer is universal, unforgiving, and historically accurate. No. But you listened. You laughed. Hopefully. And maybe, just maybe, you fell asleep around chapter 12 while imaginary wolves circled your hypothetical corpse. Because that was the point. Not to actually train you into a Stone Age survivor, but to quiet your mind for a moment, by showing you all the hilariously brutal ways you wouldn't make it. So pull your cozy modern blanket a little higher, whisper a thank you to your central heating, and dream sweetly of bears that almost ate you. And if someone asks you tomorrow what you did last night, just say, I died in 20,000 BC during a cultural misunderstanding with a toddler. Sleep well, brave time traveller, you didn't make it. But you were absolutely worth the story.